Hi, I'm Alix Paultre, and I'm here at the Things Conference in Amsterdam with Luka Banovic from IRNAS. How's it going, Luka?
It's been a great day so far. So a lot of great content around. So,
is this your first show, second show?
No, I've been around. I've been around a lot. We've been as IRNAS. We've been with the Things Conference since 2018 on every one of them. So I'm pretty well know the deal.
So you've seen it over the last multiple years. What are your thoughts on how it's progressed and grown and developed?
Well, I think I'm really glad to see that IoT is now looked at from a little bit more from a demand point of view. If we look at the predictions on where IoT will be in 8 years, 10 years, 5 years, if we step back in time and we look like 5 years ago, what people were predicting, tens of billions of connected devices, we all know we aren't quite there yet, right? So we've seen a lot of cases that were like supply driven. So here is the technology, we have that, let us squeeze it out, see what we can do. We have a solution and now we need to find a problem for it. And right now, I really like to see that things are kind of flipping around and people are stressing more and more the importance of the use case and the business value and the added value and the complexity of the whole system that we are introducing here when we are trying to take IoT towards the digital transformation, which is ultimately what companies are doing when they start dealing with IoT.
Well, I find that very interesting, and that's a very interesting point that you brought up, is we often have engineers, or I shouldn't say engineers, companies, because it might not be an engineer, it could be a management person or something like that. But bottom line is you've got people who, have a hammer and they're looking for a nail. They don't have a nail and need to find a hammer, or maybe they need a screwdriver. Maybe it's a screw and it's not a nail, but just looks like a nail because all they got is a hammer. So that's a very interesting point, that there are people who are not necessarily choosing an application to serve, they're choosing a product to sell.
That's a great analogy. Like I think that we just need to be all right with the fact that technology is not always the cool guy here. It's the problem we are solving, and we really need to think about a digital transformation that's on a company level, right? So it's not just, I'll build a product, I'll put it in a system, and it's gonna, make me more money or save me more money. But it's like I'm introducing a product into a system that hasn't had it before, meaning that there'll be other operations that will have to change within a company, within an organization, while having that system. And the bottleneck that we've been seeing was, okay, there's loads of ways to get some data to a company, but then the company has to work on how to monetize that data, and that's where the interesting bit is coming in. And now I see that companies starting to understand the importance of that and starting to kind of get the full picture and starting to do the math on the total cost and then relate it to what they can get out of it and focus on the added value. And it's great to see all the technology around. It's great to see all the sensors, all the capabilities, and really gives us a lot of freedom to kind of explore the ground a little bit. That's the direction that I think is the right one.
Now, so then explain a little bit to me where you're putting your value within this tapestry of IoT. Where is IRNAS putting their value? What problems can you solve for me in my development?
Right, so the way IRNAS is now built is we built the infrastructure and the people around the fact that we offer hardware development services, right? So the way the IRNAS was, like the origins of IRNAS lie in one single product, right? So the team of people who were developing that product started offering out the development services to other people, and from that point on, we grew and kind of tweaked all the processes in-house around that. So right now we have in-house capabilities also for PCB assembly, mechanical production, etc., so that we can have our development process efficient and quick. So let's say back in the days where delivery times were not a question, we would have 1 week. The 1 week iteration cycle on, let's say, a version of a PCB, whereas if just because we can rely on in-house capabilities. Alternatively, if we need to rely on external partners, that would take weeks or a month and a half sometimes. And now span it across over a year, we can do like about 20 to 30 iterations of a single product, which de-risks our development process and enables to pivot almost every week or 2 weeks to take the right decisions towards the goal. Whereas if you work with external partners, this pivoting time is 2 months. So instead of 30 versions, you can only do maybe 4, 5, 6, 8, I don't know, right? So that's where we are trying to capitalize on, and that's what gives us an edge, maybe compared to other systems. So we trying to be independent and try and accommodate for the fact that people sometimes just don't know what they're looking for, and by allowing them to be wrong quickly, to be wrong fast, and be able to pivot, and supporting that with the development services and capabilities has gotten us to more successful projects and more successful deployments than if we just selected, we said this is what we're building, and spend half a year building it and then realizing we're wrong. Right. So yeah, that's what we've been growing over the past 8 years.
Well, it's important to grow, right? And obviously you're addressing needs. And speaking of those needs, when you're dealing with these companies and with these issues, are there any specific bottlenecks involved, or that each company has different problems?
Each company has different problems, but some of them interact. Some of them are kind of in a cross section, I would say, especially when we're talking, for example, about machine learning and on edge. So that's what we do a lot. Is we put machine learning on edge devices because we want to make devices smaller so they can manage their data sending efficiently and have longest battery life. There's a common bottleneck is always like the availability of real-time data. We'll always build the model on some training set, but then it will overfit to that training set. And then when you put the solution out and it's going to start, measuring real life data, it's not going to work well. And that's where, people starting to doubt a little bit. So this is kind of just pure technical understanding of things, I would say, depending on the end customer as well. And we are working hard to make them realize how that fits to their business model and where this will create the added value, because the complexity with IoT that you have to account for on the business level, on the technical level, on the remote access level, on the future level, is high enough that if you don't monetize on every possible aspect on it and create added value on every possible aspect of it, you're probably going to spend a lot of money, but the point where you start making money is kind of blurred, right?
Well, so how do I get in touch with your people? How do I get involved with you?
Well, for the people that are at the conference, they can always visit at the booth 820. Otherwise, there's a website, IRNAS.eu, which they can visit, or they can reach out to me directly via LinkedIn.
Excellent. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you taking the time to visit us, especially during this really busy show.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. Thank you for doing this.
Well, Luka, we're all a community, right? And so we all need to share our ideas amongst all of us.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I fully agree. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't like that.
So thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
And don't forget, we've got Filippo Coliani from ST Micro coming, and he's going to be talking about their asset tracking software solution.